And it's only about one thing. It's efficiency. It's about being efficient and getting our process streamlined so we can be more efficient for the benefit of a customer. And Relo has done a tremendous job with that.
From the Aishin Broadcast Studio, it's the Executive Spotlight.
Welcome to another episode of Auto Success Executive Spotlight. I'm your host, Kyle Alexander, and today I'm joined by Arik Florczak, Fixed Operations Director at Lobb Toyota of McKinney in McKinney, Texas. Hey, Arik, thanks for chatting with me today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Today we are going to chat about some new service department technology that your service department is actually piloting right now. It's called Relo. But before we get to that, Arik, first tell me a little bit about Lobb Toyota of McKinney and tell me a little bit about your role there.
So Lobb, we have been open for 19 years now. We're one of the 16 Toyota dealerships in the DFW market. We're one of the biggest Toyota dealerships in DFW, volume-wise and sales-wise, service and sales. I've been around Lobb for 19 years, so I've been here a little bit. And our service department just over the years has grown and has come to a point where Relo, as we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes, is absolutely the part of our daily operations that made sense. So I'm very glad we're going to talk about Relo.
Awesome. Me too. As we kind of dive into Relo here, I want you to paint me a picture. Before you had this parts delivery robot, Relo, what did a normal day look like when it came to running parts in your service department?
Yeah, look, I think all of us that are in the car business, especially on the fixed side, understand that one of the biggest burners of valuable time, because that's really all we got is time, is in the parts department. And I don't mean parts department as parts people. I mean our technicians spending time in the back parts counter waiting for the parts or waiting for the parts to be given to them. And over the years, all of us, managers, service directors, fixed op directors, became frustrated, right? So we started removing things from the back parts counter, such as the seats to sit on, or even, walked in there and go, look, line up the parts on the counter. When they get here, let them grab the parts and they're on their way, right? I can tell you that specifically after we got Relo, we start paying attention to really how much time it's saving us. And it's unbelievable what we've come across.
What was kind of that aha moment for you? When did you decide that we need to try something different? Was there a certain moment or pain point that stood out to you?
Honestly, there's always been a pain point in there. But I think once you guys brought Relo to our attention, and once you allowed us to kind of look over what it can do, and then spend time with us in the shop, navigating through the physical aspect of Relo being here, it was that aha moment. I think at that moment is when I and my team looked at it and went, if this works, this will save us a ton of time, right? And quite honestly, it has. I mean, first couple of weeks, first month, I couldn't quantify to you how much time it was saved. Now I have an answer. And in the shop of 40 technicians, I'm saving 4 to 6 hours of productivity a day just by allowing my parts department to use Relo to deliver parts to technicians.
That's some really good time savings for sure.
Multiply that times 25 working days. That's a significant time saving.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
When you first started piloting Relo, tell me about your first impressions. What were those, and how did you and your service team react? Was anyone on your service team a little skeptical about it, excited, maybe a little bit of both?
I think that's a good statement. They were both. I had technicians that were like, hey, listen, this thing's going to be in the way. They didn't have as much as freedom to move around the shop with the cars like they wanted to. Some of the technicians, honestly, were like, why can't I just go get my own parts? Because once Relo got here, the rule is in place that you don't go get your parts. You request the parts through Reynolds and Reynolds. The parts come to you, and you wait until the parts arrive. Then you remove the parts from the bin, and then you send Relo back. And look, I think you and I both know, and everybody watching this, it's a new process, right? And everybody's scared is not the word, but everybody's like, oh, here we go. I got to do another thing. But once they did it for a week, 2, and 3, technicians start warming up to it. And all of a sudden, Relo was not in a way. And ironically enough, we got so used to him being in the shop that now they park in a different spot. They move around him. And the Relo robot is so intuitive too. If there's something in the way, it will stop and it talks to you. We were able to change some of the commands that come out of it, and we have some fun with it. And quite honestly, right now, it became part of our shop. It became like one of the guys. It sounds weird, right? It's a robot, a machine running around, but guys talk to it. I hear technicians walking in and go, "Good morning," and obviously it doesn't answer, but they think it's funny, and they walk by it, they pet it, they say good morning to it, and it's truly become part of our culture in the back of the shop of, hey, what is this really about? And it's only about one thing. It's efficiency. It's about being efficient and getting our process streamlined so we can be more efficient for the benefit of a customer. And Relo has done a tremendous job with that.
That's awesome that your team's adjusting to it, and hopefully, Relo's adjusting to your team too, as people in your department are kind of interacting with it and everything. Shifting gears a little bit here, I kind of want to talk about a real world example. So say a tech in your department needs a part right now, like right in this moment. What happens?
Right.
What's the process?
Yeah, so look, just like any other process, right? Obviously, all of us car guys, we think outside the box. And quite honestly, if there's like whatever part it may be, when the technician works on the car, the parts that are requested are the parts he needs, plus he needs one more widget, right? Because he forgot. They still have ability to walk into the parts department. So for us to say that they're completely never ever is a technician in a parts department, that's not a true statement. But I would say a 97, 98% true. We still have things that they physically have to walk into the parts department for numerous reasons. It can be parts requested. Parts department really can understand exactly what the tech is looking for, right? Not all communication can happen over the computer or even verbally. Some communication has to happen in person. It has to be visual. They have to walk up to the screen and parts and go, that's the part I need.
Sure. And you've kind of touched on some of this here, but building off of that last question, what's changed for your techs and parts staff? Do you notice more time spent on some high-value work or maybe even a different energy in your shop and in the department?
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't think about that until you just said it. Our technicians got so used to it now. The other day, Relo was busy, believe it or not. He had more deliveries at one time than he could handle. It took him 15, 20 minutes to get through them. And I literally had technician kind of peeking around the corner from his bay, like, and I walk by, I go, what's going on? He goes, where's Relo? Like he was waiting for him to bring him parts.
He knows, yeah.
And I said, well, he's busy right now. I said, he's having a lunch break. And he kind of looked at me and goes, okay. So they look forward for the parts being delivered. I'm talking technicians now. They interact with it at the levels that I never thought was possible, right?
Sure.
It became personal to them. Relo is not just some machine running around dropping off parts. Now when they send it back, I hear, all right, see you later, and when it comes and gets their thing, they send presents to parts in the bins, when they want to return something to parts, they go, hey, they'll call Relo and they'll go, I returned something to you guys. Relo's bringing it back. But on the parts side, What's nice about it now, our guys in the back parts counter are more efficient. And what I mean by that is it's very simple. They can grab a set of parts, put it in a bin, go back, do it over again. And what it has allowed them to do is spend more time on the phone with advisor or our BDC or other components of our department that before then it was hard because they had constantly people in front of them and they had constant traffic in front of them. Now it seems like they have more time to answer the phone. And honestly, they have improved their own ability to be more efficient.
That's great to hear. If you had to put numbers to it, even efficiency specifically, what kind of results are you seeing? Are you seeing fewer trips, more hours billed, less downtime? What are some numbers that lead into some of those results you're seeing with Relo?
Great question. Efficiency in the shop is the only thing that we've really been paying attention to, which, let's call it efficiency and proficiency of the techs is one of the major components that we always struggle with. I would say on the back parts counter is the ability for them to spend more time. I haven't quantified exactly what does that do for us dollar and cents wise. I can tell you that the attitude is a lot better because they seem less stressed. They don't have all this traffic in front of them. The traffic is probably cut down by 90%. And you and I both know when you get 150, 200 visits a day from a shop of 40 techs, that can get you spun up pretty quick.
Absolutely.
Now, very rarely do I see a technician in the back parts counter. Very rare. I mean, I'll walk by there 20, 30 times a day. Maybe 2-3 times I see a tech at the back parts counter. And it might be anything from, hey, did this SOP part arrive? Or, hey, did you get all the parts I needed? Or, hey, I'm checking on something. The actual act of delivering parts and normal parts that have to be delivered, I never hear a technician, hey, I'm here to get something.
Very cool. And I mean, from everything you're telling me, it sounds like your team's adjusted to Relo well, and even some skeptics have kind of been won over after Relo's been implemented.
Absolutely. I had a couple of guys in the shop, we call them old school, right? That were like, oh, great. Now I got to deal with this. And even that's gone away and everybody's like, all right, it's working. We have visitors, a lot of visitors come through our dealership. We're located very close to TMNA headquarters. So we have a lot of visitors that come from Toyota and they watch the process of Relo and they're extremely impressed. And our owner loves it. Pat loves it. Whenever he goes to the shop and sees Relo walk by, he videotapes it and goes, look at that thing go. I said, oh yeah, it's quick. So it's very much appreciated. I can tell you this, we're not going back. We're going to keep Relo. And obviously, honestly, we have another shop across the parking lot and we're trying to decide if we need one in the other shop because it will only make sense.
That's cool that Relo's had such a positive impact across the dealership. It sounds like they're over at Pat Lobb.
Unbelievable impact.
Yeah. Now, Arik, is there anything about using Relo that's surprised you? Maybe a benefit that you didn't expect to get from it?
One of the things that really surprised me at first was how quickly everybody adapted. I was waiting for the guys to take 2-3 weeks. It's kind of funny because it's a simple process. You just hit a icon on top of your screen and you can recall reload to your bay or have him send away. And as simple as that seems, it's another step in the process, right?
Sure.
And
yeah.
Honestly, I expected more complaining and I expected more fight than I got out of the shop. So that leads me to believe two things. Either it's really that simple or they're just not going to fight me. And I think it's the other one. I think it's the first one. I've been around those guys for a long time. It's always a team effort when we come up with a new process. This is not a dictatorship. So, I always check with both of my shop foremans, my service director, my service managers. We always have a conversation about anything new that we bring to our dealership because everybody has to buy in. Relo was a buy-in right away. There was really nobody on my management team that had any concerns, everybody was like, yeah, let's try it. Let's see how it works. Honestly, after 2 weeks, everything is smooth as can be. And now, if I go over there and try to remove that thing from the shop and tell them, yeah, I changed my mind, I'll promise you every one of them will be like, no, 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 no. We like it. We like it. And it is efficient. I mean, that's my personal surprise how efficient the whole thing is, right? It's
Sure.
it's quick, it's efficient, it's noticeable, it's a wow factor, to be honest with you. We've had customers in a shop getting stuff out of their car, that we worked on their cars, and they go, "What is that?" And they see, Relo dragging 4 tires across the shop, and they're like,
Yeah.
"You guys have a robot delivering tires?" We're like, "Well, actually, he delivers all the parts." And they're like, "What?" So it's a wow factor for our customers whenever we do have them in the shop. And at this point, we would not give that thing up for the world.
That's awesome. Arik, if another dealer called you up to ask about piloting Relo at their dealership, what would you tell them?
Well, great question. I've actually had a pleasure of communicating with numerous dealers regarding this, numerous Toyota dealers as well as other brands. And numerous guys have asked me to send them video, and I was more than happy to go in the shop, videotape Relo in action. And I had extensive conversations over the last 30 days with general managers, partners, fixed op directors. They want to know the real application, right?
Sure.
And honestly, for the shop our size, we work on about 250 cars a day. We're a busy dealership. I can't imagine being without that thing right now. Could we go back to the old ways? Yeah. Do I want to? Absolutely not.
Awesome, Arik. Thank you so much for all of your insight on Relo. One last question for you here. Do you have anything else to say about Relo? Anything else you want dealers to know?
Yeah, look, if anybody has any questions or if anybody wants a video or anybody wants to call me, more than happy to share the experience, more than happy to put you on FaceTime and I can walk in the shop and show you a Relo. He'll be happy to see you, I'll promise you. We have a little face on them now with eyes, nose, and smile. So we personalize them. We haven't dressed them up yet. That's one thing that's coming. We're gonna put some stuff on them, but we were very respectful, and since it doesn't belong to us yet, we haven't touched him. But our guys are already going, hey, can we put stickers on him? Hey, can he wear a hat? He has truly become part of our shop. So if there's any questions out there from any dealers, please don't hesitate. I'm more than happy to share the information.
Awesome, Arik. Again, great insights. Thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your experience with Relo.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
To learn more about Relo, check out rayray.com/Relo or talk to your Reynolds rep. Thanks for watching and see you next time.